This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7. The Quest. In an era where politics and truth can all stand each other, facts becomes the basis of the conversation. Facts, policy interrogation, accountability, all meet at the table on The Quest. Join Olu Okikiola on The Quest every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. as the fact checks and takes on the political heavyweights, gatekeepers, and key stakeholders on critical matters that matter to us all. On The Quest, you audience are not mere listeners, but the jury. Let the conversation begin. This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to The Quest.
Thursday, 9th July 2026, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, in his most recent media chat, said, "Remember, when we came on board, our IGR was a mere 9 billion naira a month. But as I speak to you today, we have been able to improve it to over 40 billion naira. With these, I welcome you to another edition of The Quest on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. I am Olu Okikiola. In today's fact check, we're going to be looking at two claims as made by the Minister Nyesom Wike. The very first question addressing the first claim is, was the IGR in fact 9 billion naira when the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike came on board in 2023? Based on our findings, the 9 billion naira figure has been consistently cited by Wike across interviews and multiple media organizations. I've reported this same figure as the baseline figure when Minister Wike came on board in 2023. However, publicly available data, publicly available Federal Capital Territory Administration records confirming the exact figures have not been independently produced. So for the very first claim, the verdict is mostly true based on secondary evidence. And secondary evidence in this case are the reports by the multiple media organizations and the words of Mr. Wike himself across different interviews. And to address the second claim, the question is FCT IGR now, as we speak, according to Mr. Wike, now over 40 billion naira monthly, as claimed? To answer that, from our findings, in January 2025, during a media chat, Wike said, "At the time I came, we were generating about 9 billion to 10 billion. Today, by the grace of God, we are not generating anything less than 25 billion naira monthly. In fact, last month, referring to December 2024, we were able to generate over 14 billion naira. Now the question is over 40 billion naira, which was a single month figure for December 2024, now a sustained monthly figure as claimed by Mr. Wike in his most recent media chat? Our verdict: there is no publicly available evidence to confirm a sustained monthly IGR of above 40 billion naira monthly. Public records only confirmed 1 month, which was December 2024, and that exceeded, according to Mr. Wike, over 40 billion naira. So our overall verdict is Mr. Wike's claim will be judged partly true. The rise from 9 billion is supported by secondary evidence, but the assertion of a sustained monthly average of above 40 billion naira remains unverified publicly. With me in the studio, Barrister Bayo Titilola-Sodo. Barrister Bayo Titilola-Sodo, between 2013 and 2020, was the president of Oyo State Chapter of Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE. Between 2019 and 2020, chairman Nigeria Labour Congress, Oyo State Chapter. In the same 2020, transitioning into the Makinde administration, Permanent Secretary, Oyo State Local Government Staff Pension Board. Between 2020 and 2026, Special Advisor to the Governor on Labour Matters, that's Governor Makinde. And currently, the consensus candidate of the Action Alliance. Welcome with me on the show, Barrister Bayo-Sodo. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's good to have you in the Kuli Hamzat
Yeah,
studios.
I'm glad to be here too.
It's been a while, sir.
Yeah, it's been a while. A bit.
Yeah,
I
so
used to be your regular customer.
yeah. So it was Barrister Bayo Titilola-Sodo. We fact checked last week on this show. If you remember, we cited his claim where he said every local government in Nigeria, not just in Oyo State, has been receiving its allocation directly into its account since January 2026. And the verdict of our fact check is the claim is misleading because there are not publicly available data or evidence to back or support that statement. Now he's in the studio himself. Maybe he has some information that we do not have. We, the media, the representative of the people, and even the people themselves. The ball is in your court, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I hope you watched the entire clip of where I made that claim, not just some excerpts.
Yes, I did.
No, what they posted was not the entire video.
Okay.
It was an interview. They just took a few seconds of it, removed the front of it, patched some of the. You understand? It's not the entire thing. But as we are here now, you are free to Google whether local governments in Nigeria are receiving their allocations directly, and you will see the answer. The answer, that's still information in the public space.
Okay.
However, going to the local governments directly, you may have different submissions. But we know that as of now, a state like Osun, the local governments are receiving the allocation directly into their respective accounts. So what makes Osun special? So, however, that claim I have discovered is misleading truly. But if you Google, even as we speak now, the answer is that since the Supreme Court's judgments, allocations are now being directly transferred to respective local governments in Nigeria. And that's the source of my claim.
Well, while I was making my research again today, I found out that states like Kano State are also receiving their local government allocations directly into their account. There is also Benue State, Yasint Alia are also receiving based on available information, publicly available information. But why is Oyo State different, Barrister Sodo?
I wouldn't know. Like those states we are referring to now, if the general claim is that they are not receiving directly, then it means those places too are kind of special. Something strange is happening.
What's special about that?
Well, if most of them are not receiving as they claim, and we now have 2-3 receiving directly, why is it not uniform? I wouldn't be able to answer that. To me, the federal government has the yam and they have the knife too. And it's actually the federal government that went to the Supreme Court to clarify that section of our constitution. So if the ruling is that now you should give it to them directly, what's delaying it?
What's delaying it?
What's delaying it? Why are they not receiving it directly?
But you served in this administration.
Yes.
So what's delaying it? Let's ask you, as government
I
representative.
didn't serve as the commissioner for local government. I didn't serve as the governor of this state. I served as an advisor on labor matters.
You were
So
once chairman Nigerian Labour. You were once the permanent secretary of your state local government.
Pensions board. Pensions board.
You're close to the quarters.
I was not the operator. I was the operator of the pensions board, the accounting officer for the pensions board when I was the permanent secretary there. And the source of the funds for the local government staff pensions board is largely the allocation from the local governments.
It's largely the allocation from the local government.
Yes, it is the allocation from
we
the
have
local
several
governments.
questions for you, Barrister Sodo.
Please, go on.
So, but before we ask those questions, let's quickly go on a short break.
88.7 FM.
Ọmọlá travel and tour. Ilé-iṣẹ́ tó ń kọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun pẹ̀lú fọkànbalẹ̀. Ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run àtàlùbáríkà lójú. Lèyí tó Ọmọlá travel and tour fi ń kọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun. Bẹ́ẹ̀ látìgbà tó ti ń fàwọn ìkọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun jẹun kò fọ́mọ́ lọ́wọ́ rí. Léyìí tó mú gbogbo ènìyàn lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn. Pẹ̀lú àlàálẹ̀ àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan tí wọ́n bá fún yín. Ẹ̀rù gbọ́dọ̀ bà yín má torí pé wọ́n gbàṣẹ́ gbòǹtẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ìjọba lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Àtìlẹ́yìn àǹfààní tó wà lọ́dọ̀ Ọmọlá travel and tour ni wípé ẹ tún lè sanwó ọ̀hún díẹ̀díẹ̀. O ti wá fẹ́ lọ kàwé ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí ìrìn àjò afẹ́ lọ sókè òkun láwọn ìlú bíi Amẹ́ríkà, Canada, Europe, Australia, United Kingdom. Àǹfààní tó ti fìdí kalẹ̀ sí iléeṣẹ́ Ọmọlá travel and tour. Ẹgbẹ́ra òdòlú iléeṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní. Number 114 Ọmọlá Plaza Lẹ́kan Alabi Street, Àbáyọ̀mí, Ìwó Road, Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08079851232. Ọ́fíìsì wọn lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Locum Louisiana, United States of America. Ọ́fíìsì wọn tún wà nílùú Àkúrẹ́ ní Ọba Adéṣidà Road, Ọjà Àkúrẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n tún wà ní Fákúnlé nílùú Òṣogbo. Ọmọlá travels and tour. Ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ìrìn àjò ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún.
The Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB, Southwest Zone, in collaboration with National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, is inviting broadcast professionals to its Southwest Summit 2026, a strategic event slated to strengthen media and government synergy for national security, coming up on Thursday, 16th July 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Venue, Oyo State Local Government Training Center, State Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan, with the theme, Public Policy, Mass Media, and Conflict-Sensitive Broadcasting, strengthening media and government synergy for national security, with the keynote presentation to be delivered by Chief BC Adeshola, MNI, a veteran broadcaster and former secretary to the Oyo State government, as well as Mr. Charles Ibubu, the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC. The special guest of honor is His Excellency Engineer Oluwaseyi Makinde, the Executive Governor of Oyo State. Chief host, Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farumbi, OON, National Patron and Founding Father, Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB. The summit will also feature the induction of new members from the Southwest Zone and the presentation of awards of recognition of distinguished personalities. Announcer, SMB Southwest Committee.
Atiba 88.7 FM.
For 6 years as NULGE President, Barrister Sodo, under the late Abiola Ajimobi's administration, you pursued local government autonomy. Why did it fail?
Thank you very much. When I was the president of the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Oyo State chapter, not just Oyo State, that union, ably led by late Ibrahim Khalil, made concerted efforts, rigorous efforts to ensure that we obtained autonomy for the local governments in Nigeria. In fact, late Ibrahim Khalil was nicknamed Mr. Autonomy. We were in Abuja, Lagos, everywhere, even this place in Ibadan. We had several rallies, and we had rallies in all local government headquarters in Oyo State, all the 33 local government headquarters, in our relentless quest for local government autonomy. Why did it fail? It failed because it was, and it still is, a constitutional matter. There are certain sections of the 1999 Constitution as amended that relates to local government existence in Nigeria. Section 7 puts all the affairs of local government squarely under the purview of the State House of Assembly. They are to make the laws that will regulate the functions, administration, etc., of the local governments in their state. And once they pass the bill, the government assents to it, it becomes a law. Another section provides that funds coming to the local government should first be paid into a joint account. That joint account is not a joint account between the local governments and the state. It's joint account for all the local governments in a particular state. So for your state, that joint account is for the 33 local governments. However, the management of that joint account is squarely on the table of the governor. But the governor may then delegate one of his aides, maybe a commissioner or whoever, to represent him as the chairman of that joint accounts committee. So it is when money gets into that account that trouble starts for the local government. You know,
what trouble starts for the local government?
Oh, well, we know how much comes from the federal into the various local governments, and we know the indices by which the 20.3% of the federation accounts given to the local governments. We know the indices by which they are divided and allocated to the various local governments. We know that 40% is on equality basis up to today. We know that a certain percentage is shared based on population, some percentage on land mass, some percentage on hospitals, primary school enrollments, etc. But when it gets so that in Abuja, on the FAC list, you may see amount X for a particular local government. But by the time the entire allocation for that state enters that joint account, if anything will get to that local government, you might see amount Y, which will be different from X. That's why I say that's where the trouble starts. However, there are a lot of conceptions by people, the generality of our citizens don't really understand some of the issues.
Conceptions or misconceptions.
Well, however you want to describe it. But the local
however
government,
you want to describe it.
not me how I want to describe it. I'm stating facts as I know them.
All right.
I've operated in that system. I was an agric officer in that system. I was an internal auditor in that system. I was a director of finance for so many years in that system. So I know how much gets. I have an idea, the relative, what gets into some local government and what eventually got to them in those days. So, but we must remember, let me explain some things. The local government is responsible not only for the payment of salaries of their workers, they're also responsible for the salaries of primary school teachers and all workers in the primary school sector. They are also responsible for the maintenance and payment of salaries of workers in all the primary health care centers that we have. And lastly, they are responsible for the payment of pensions and gratuities of all those workers, those who retired, as long as they are alive, because of your states, up till this moment, is still operating what we call the defined benefit scheme, which we comrades call pay as you go. That means once you are employed, you are not bothered about your pensions or gratuity. It is assumed that whatever salary you are earning is the net after the state has taken some amount to take care of those things when eventually you retire. That is different from the contributory pension scheme, which is the new vogue in town generally. But I'm not going there now. So in the bits where most states used to hide is that they were paying primary school teachers in those days. Once the allocation came in, they would deduct that amount for primary school teachers, then share the rest to the respective local governments. And sometimes that rest was not even enough to pay salaries of workers in the local governments, not to talk of embarking on development projects. But there was a time we then discovered that the operators then, rather than just taking away the amounts required for the payment of salaries of personnel in the primary school sector, they were also taking away some amounts to set aside.
Set aside for who?
Well, they say sometimes you may have to ask them. Because strictly speaking, I was not one of the operators then. But we discovered they would claim it was for.
Well, you were the president.
It was the project.
You should have information.
Yes, that's why our union rose stoutly against the system of operation of local government funds at that time. And the system kind of changed in 2019 when this government came. And how did it change? That rather than, you see, the job of the union strictly is the welfare of my members. So that instead of taking away just primary school teachers, take away our own salary too. So that instead of having local governments with arrears of salary starting to 10, 7, 5 months, we all take our salaries. Then you can do whatever, because the people already voted you. You can do whatever with what is left. And since 2019, people in that sector, whether primary healthcare or local government, have been getting their dues, their emoluments as and when due, even the pensions as well as the gratuities. But you cut in. I was saying that we discovered that they were setting funds aside for what they claimed were capital projects. And we don't believe that somebody who is hungry will not eat and start setting money aside to build cocoa house or something. Particularly when your fund is being managed by a third party for you. And they say that you should know, while they are eating, that you should go hungry while they save your money for you to build something in the future or wherever. So that's part of we believe as unionists, is mismanagement of local government funds. And we rose stoutly against it. But you asked what led to that.
Does that still happen?
You see, you asked a question. You've cut in 3 times, taking the attention away from your primary question.
You can always go back to the context.
So I want to go there first. You asked why it failed.
Yes, please.
And I explained that it's a constitutional matter. Once something pertains to the constitution, it requires a kind of amendment to change it. And the amendment, the rule is that after the National Assembly, the 2 houses have passed it. 24 out of the 36 houses of assembly in Nigeria minimum of 24 must assent to it, simple majority, before that bill can be sent to the president for his assent. Now, during my tenure, the bills were presented 3 times by the National Assembly. The first time, that House of Assembly, led then by the then Right Honorable Speaker Monsura Sumonu, passed that bill. But unfortunately, we did not get the 24 across the country. But Oyo State was one of the states that passed it. The assembly that followed that one, the bill came again. That assembly was led by late Right Honorable Speaker. I can't remember his name again. He was also a barrister. They did not pass it. Then when it came the 3rd time, they did not even consider it, not to talk of passing it or rejecting it. They didn't even consider it until that window of opportunity elapsed. That was how difficult it was. But then the present federal government, in its wisdom, decided to take the judicial route, which someone like me did not believe could be successful. But lo and behold, it was successful. You see, the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, took the 36 states, their Attorney Generals and everything, to the Supreme Court, to the court, for the interpretation of that section that allows that funds coming to the Governorship.
That's Section 7.
Section 162. 162. That funds coming to the local government from the Federation account should first go into that joint account. And the Supreme Court ruled that it's not a matter of just the provision. What's the intention of that section? The intention is that the local government, a certain percentage is already established for them from the various Federation accounts. And the intention is that money should go to them. Now, if you are coming to Agidigbo, you can take Ojo to get to Agidigbo. You can also take, depending on whatever suits you, you may decide to take to first come through Iwo Road. That if the objective is for the money to get to the local governments, then it's not a must that it should go to the joint account. and they ruled that the money should go straight to the local government. Now, one would think that the federal government that went for that interpretation of the constitution will be ready to, to implement the decision immediately. But what we see from what we hear and see, and we cannot confirm because neither party is giving us the true picture of the situation, is that we say that some states, Makinde, Bayo is doing it, Ogun is not doing it, Lagos is doing it, Rivers is doing it, Akwa Ibom is not doing it, etc., etc. One should believe that the federal government, which is in charge of the federal accounts and allocation committee, will just instruct that committee to send the money straight to the respective local government instead of this away that it's getting there or it's not getting there.
The federal government took the states to the court.
Yes.
Which means the administration of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu
exactly
is for local government autonomy.
You can it depends on what.
Or financial autonomy.
Just give your own opinion.
What do you think? What do you think?
I don't want to think anything, but the reality is that they went to court, they obtained a judgment favorable to what they wanted.
How do you interpret that?
But it is not being implemented.
And whose fault is that? Federal government of the state?
The carry tea come for you. You see, they ask me whether I should put it in your mouth. That's what you are asking now. It is their fault. They are the one to share it now.
Their fault? The state government's fault?
The federal government fault. Yes. You have gone there, you seek clarification. They have told you, okay, you can send it to them. And you are not sending it to them.
So we should hold responsible the Accountant General of the Federation.
Well, I don't know whether it's FAC, the Accountant General, or whoever. But the fact is, the ruling is send it to them directly.
But how come some state, like Osun that you have mentioned today, how come they are getting it into their own account?
That's what makes it curious too. Because
and you don't know.
How will I know? I don't operate at that level. The people sending the people sending the money to states where the local governments are not getting it directly is also the people sending the money to that place we are referring to. So what is it? What went wrong? Where is the problem?
If the states government themselves are interested in this autonomy, they will make the call and execute it.
It doesn't even require a call. That's why if you vote for me to be governor for your state, we'll get it done. I just told you that there's Section 7. We'll get it done. We'll do all these village meetings, proper village meetings that the citizens will contribute and state what they want. We'll all agree on how to take care of those charges that I mentioned, the salaries of certain sectors, the pensions and gratuities. We'll agree on how we want to take it. Do we want to pass it en bloc to the local government, or we want to remove it, give to the bodies presently? I'm coming.
Barrister Sodo, it's not yet time for campaign.
It's not. I'm explaining how to do. You ask me you ask me how to do it. And
when
I'm now explaining
starts,
to you.
We'll bring you back.
Then that means you are withdrawing your question.
No, we'll bring you back. You once said something that interests me in your most recent interview.
Yes.
I'd like to take you up on that.
Yes.
You said given an instance, he said that the local government have allocation threshold, and I think you were talking about your state, that they have allocation threshold, and to spend beyond that threshold, they would have to seek approval from someone who is not elected. Who is that person that is not elected?
Now let me tell you, I didn't. It's not really. Did I use the word threshold? Authority to incur expenditure. Government money. There should be authority. There should be an authority that will approve the spending of public funds. So authority to incur that expenditure in the local government, the CEO of the local government is the chairman. So that authority lies with him, but there is no place. That is why you hear of fake meeting, Federal Executive Council meeting, State Executive Council meeting, because even as the chief executive of the state or the chief executive of Nigeria, you cannot unilaterally award a contract once it gets to a certain amount. I don't know the amount at the federal, so don't ask me.
But no, Barrister, so the question is, who is that someone? But before you answer the question,
if you just
let's go on a short
these questions cannot be answered yes or no. It's better you have an idea of the background to how expenditure is incurred, rather than just say it is A.
But
then we put you.
The public are interested in that someone. Let's go on a short commercial.
And I won't say that someone until I explain how it is done.
So when we are back, you would explain and give us that someone. The public are expecting it.
Yes.
Atiba 88.7 FM.
èwo ni ká fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ àtàbí múra ká mọ̀ káyà òkè ká fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ládàá ní mọ́kà tàbí mọ̀dínà kó wá má tún jálàṣe pé lẹ́yìn owó gọbọi iléeṣẹ́ Ajmabu travels and tours ní kẹ́ẹ̀jẹ́ àjọ bádòwòpọ̀ kájọ sàràfà ohun tó dá mi lójú ni mò ń sọ bí ìdínlá. ẹ má jẹ́ wọ́n gbé yín lámbà. fúnṣẹ́ àjà ti múra aláṣẹ pé pẹ̀lú ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ bí iléeṣẹ́ Ajmabu travels and tours bá làwọn daṣọ fún ni tọ́run wọn ni ẹ wò ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run la fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́jọ́ tó ti pẹ́ ẹ bí àjọ alálàájì nákàn léèrè àtàwọn aláràfà wa lọ́dọọdún aníwèé ẹ̀rí àyátà.
gbogbo àyè tẹ́ ti gba ládà àti làádà lákòóyín dé.
oúnjẹ tó dúró re. ibùgbé tó súnmọ́ haram ẹ lè sanwó díẹ̀díẹ̀ tàbí lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà torí pé ọ̀rọ̀ hajj ti kú òǹtà àtijọ́ o gẹ́gẹ́ bí ilẹ̀ Saudi ti fi lélẹ̀.
ẹ kàn sí wa
ní OTM Islamic Center opposite Town Hospital New Ife Road Ìbàdàn tàbí OTF Central Mosque Bolúwàjí Lagos Ìbàdàn Expressway
08032848410 08055447258.
Ajmabu Ajam Umrah experience with ease, comfort and sunnah.
For 5 amazing years, hope has been restored, dreams have been nurtured, and lives have been transformed. It's the 5th anniversary of Shike's Educational Initiative, founded by Elena Bayo in partnership with Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Join us for thrilling inter-girls secondary school oratory competition grand finale. 6 schools, 1 stage, 1 winner. Rochas Foundation College, Sacred Heart Catholic School, Ruby's International College, Yejide Girls Grammar School, United Missionary Comprehensive College Molete, and St. Hans School. Date Saturday, 18th of July 2026. Time 11 a.m. Venue live on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Topic Election and the role of electorate in ensuring a credible election. Judges include Honorable Speaker of the People's Parliament Pastor Segun Ogunbayi, Comrade Femi Babalola Obagun, and Are Olabode Anisoloja. Come cheer our girls to greatness, celebrate excellence, empower girl child, witness young voices shaping tomorrow. For sponsorship, call 08061199757. Shike's Educational Initiative, transforming more lives.
Atiba 88.7 FM.
Yeah, Barrister Sodo, you were saying something.
Thank you very much. What I was saying is this: authority to incur expenditure in the local governments, that's across Nigeria, is limited. So that even if you have your money, let's assume you have your allocation, and after meeting all your expenses, salaries, what have you, you have 200 million naira left, and your authority to spend money does not exceed 50,000. So which project can you embark upon with 50 or 500,000?
We understand that that's not the problem of the local government chairman. So there is
it's the problem of that regulation. It is that regulation that should be fine-tuned so that you raise their spending limits. The spending limits, as at when I was there, I don't know today, it's 500,000 naira. You understand? And that 500,000 naira has been like that since 1992. So you can imagine what projects you can execute with 500,000 naira in 1992, and that is still your power today.
So to exceed that spending limit,
it has to be exceeded. That's why you voted in a chairman, vice chairman, 10 councillors, and there is what is called Finance and General Purposes Committee, which is the equivalent of the State Executive Committee and the equivalent of the Federal Executive Committee at the federal, where any expenditure beyond the spending limits of the chairman can be taken for approval. But you now limit it, it's 500,000 for the chairman is 500,000 for
Barrister
the
Sodo.
FIGPC.
You were speaking specifically about something I think you know about.
Yes.
You said they would have to exceed that limit as far as this is concerned, this administration is concerned.
Yes.
I think so they have to take it
As
to
far
someone
as local government administration in Oyo State
is concerned.
You
say
That's why it has been.
They would have to
this-
take it to someone who is not elected.
It
Who
will
is
be-
that
of
person?
course, it will be taken to the ministry. It's not a matter of a person.
No, you
It will
said-
be
you
taken
said
to
someone. I'm quoting you.
It will be taken to the Ministry of Local Government.
Are you
And-
retracting what you said about someone?
Are you really understanding what I'm putting down?
Yeah, I'm
somebody
just
heads
quoting
that
you.
ministry, and that is the somebody.
That is not elected.
Is he elected? Do you elect a commissioner? Do you elect a minister? Do you elect a supervisor at the local government? They are appointees, just like I was an appointee, a special advisor. I was not elected.
Within how you were saying it, the context of elected is not what you're saying now.
That's maybe by your own understanding, anybody functioning who is not that person is not elected. I've just told you that request. The proposal will have to be passed to the ministry for approval, and the head of the ministry is not elected.
How did you survive 7 years of this administration as somebody who had once fought and still has the zeal for local government autonomy in an administration where the governor said he does not believe in local government autonomy?
Oh well, the point is this: you can't jump to today without looking at where you were coming from. I was coming from a place where people were not even getting paid after working, and now I have someone who is paying them.
But he does not believe in local government autonomy.
Well, those people who were not paying, did they believe? They didn't believe. No one. I'm yet to see a politician who has governed Oyo State that actually believes in local government autonomy, because they've not practicalized it that way. Let me tell you, the theory of local government is about decentralization. It's about allowing people, cutting the tasks into small. That's why we have the state. We now have local governments, but now you are evacuating their functions and resources. You are centralizing it again. That is against the spirit of local government.
Local government under your watch as a president, as NULGE, and now,
yes,
which who performed better in terms of development? Who performed better?
I wouldn't go there.
No, who performed better?
I won't go there.
You served as president of NULGE.
President of NULGE.
Yes,
you understand me? My first charge is the welfare of my members. I think as of today, the welfare of workers in the local government is better
than your administration.
Than when someone else was managing, than when I was the president.
Oh.
So don't say my administration. I was not administering the state. I was leading workers to get their rights from the employers.
You were the president.
That is it. So it wasn't my administration. It wasn't. I was not administering Oyo State. I was leading people who needed to get their welfare attended to.
Let's speak about your your gubernatorial aspiration.
Oh, thank you very much.
Why do you want to become the governor of your state?
So that these things I'm pointing out can be corrected, so that the local governments can actually perform as the engine room of grassroots development in Oyo State. That is a major reason I'm contesting.
Barrister Sodo.
Thank you.
In gubernatorial race,
yes,
there are pretenders.
Okay.
And there are contenders. There are speculations that Barrister Sodo is a placeholder for some people in Action Alliance. Are you a pretender, Barrister Sodo?
I will not answer that question.
The public wants to know.
I won't answer that question.
Those whom you want to charge to vote for you.
That question is beneath me to answer such a question. I have antecedents.
Okay.
So I won't answer that question.
Are you a contender or a pretender?
I've told you, I will not answer that question. I'm Sodo, and I'm running for the governorship of this state.
So debunk the speculations that you're a placeholder for some persons.
I don't need to debunk anything. Whoever is thinking like that, I'll just leave them.
Information flies so fast.
That's falsehood flying. I don't know how fast you take it.
You're establishing it today, right here and now, that you are not a placeholder for anybody.
I cannot be. I'm not that kind of person. My character, my identity, I cannot be.
Guba elections are for the big boys, according to what we hear. Are you a big boy, Barrister
Well,
Sodo?
unfortunately, do you have faith?
Do you have faith?
I'm asking you.
You are the one contesting. Do you have faith?
I'm asking you if you have faith. If
I'm
you
not
have faith, you
sir.
will know that there's nothing that God cannot do. Particularly when you have good intentions for the people. if you are God sent and it is time for the people of your state to be delivered from slavery, from slavery, then you have the faith that I can make it. I don't have to be, and when you are saying big boy, I'm a big boy. Am I not?
Does God have business in the business of election?
Of course. Otherwise, everybody. Yes, he has still left us here to handle our affairs, to administer ourselves, because he has not decided yet to eradicate the earth, the world as we see. So therefore, he's interested, particularly when people have cried unto him. See what happened recently. You think it's just the power of the military that got those people released? A lot of it, is the power of prayers. God intervened, and I believe in him.
So God would intervene on your behalf?
Yeah, I has already intervened. How did I get the tickets?
God would provide you the money.
I'm just telling you that there's nothing that God cannot do. Really, do you believe in democracy?
What is democracy?
Do you believe? You don't believe it? Do you vote?
What's democracy?
Do you vote during the elections?
Yes, I do vote.
You do? So what's your basis of voting? What's your yardstick? You take money and vote?
What do you think?
If you don't take money and vote, you wouldn't be so particular about, do you have the money? Are we supposed to be spraying money around? Are we supposed to packet
That's
money?
what elections have been described.
I can see you using your hand to quote. Is that what you believe election should be? I don't believe that is what election should be about. You understand? If I'm able to borrow, say 5 billion naira, and I decide to spend it on elections and I win, don't you think that I will have to repay that money? And where do you think I will get it? Is it not from your resources? So it's left to the people of Oyo State. If that's the kind of what they want, but they have an option. They have an alternative.
What's the alternative? The
alternative is Sodo. So that Sodo does not have the money to share to them, but they will see openness, they will see transparency, they will see good governance, they will see integrity.
Lastly,
we shall publish the resources of this state every 3 months. Latest, every 3 months we'll publish all the entire revenue and how we have expended them, what is left,
Barrister
if any.
Lastly, the governor, Engineer Makinde, calling on the United Nations to come and investigate what happened in Oriire.
Yes.
What's your take on it?
You see, someone asked me this question yesterday. I don't think I want to say anything on that. But the point is, it is beyond the power of an individual or even a state governor to invite the United Nations. That's all I will say.
It is beyond the powers of Seyi Makinde to invite United Nations.
You have said so.
No, that's what your statement
I said
implied.
an individual. Why do you want to narrow it to a particular engineer? So. You, it is beyond the powers of any individual to invite the United Nations.
Who is the individual in this case?
I don't know.
I asked you a direct question.
And I've answered you. Huh?
That shall be the size of today's edition on The Quest. Thank you, Barrister Sodo, for coming to our studio.
Thank you too. I've enjoyed your session.
We hope when next the people call you, you shall answer them.
All the time. Gladly.
Thank you very much. Special thanks to my producer, Wuraola Yusuf, my able studio manager, Oluwashio, and my executive producer, Are Olabode Anisoloja, my director of programs, Ali Abdulwahab Okoloyu. Thank you. See you again next week, same time, same station.
Atiba.